Welcome to the Hooks Lattes Podcast. My name is Jason Thomas, and I'm joined with my co-host Michael.
Hey there.
So, tank fight last night. What'd you think? You watch it?
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised he went almost the full distance. I didn't really expect it to go that long. I thought he was gonna knock Barrios out about 6 rounds in. So I was pleasantly surprised, to say the least. So definitely got my money's worth.
I thought that fight last night was an instant classic. I think it was probably the fight of the year. And the reason I thought it was so good is because you saw Tank vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This big, scary, monster that everyone like paints as Tank. I mean,
Right.
I know he's only 5'5", but
Yeah.
man is a beast.
He's still scary.
Yeah, man is really scary. I think if I was in the ring with Tank Davis, I would shit myself. But
Yeah, same.
you gotta give credit to Barrios, man. Didn't back down.
Yeah, his nickname is the Aztec Warrior, and he definitely lives up to that name. He got his face beaten, he got his body punched in,
Yeah,
and he kept on going.
He gained a fan in me last night. I'll be honest, I wasn't really the biggest Mario Barrios fan, and that nothing against him. I just hadn't seen much of him, or I wasn't a fan. Wasn't closely following him, but the man showed a lot of heart last night, and for that, I have to respect it.
Right.
He got knocked down twice in the 8th, and I think that was really the turning point of the fight because I thought it was really close up until then. I really gave Barrios a really good chance of winning. I was like, maybe Tank took it a step too far going up to 140.
Yeah.
But I think it was, like I said, fight of the year for sure. Showtime did a great job with the whole promotion, and it was for an interim title, and they made it seem like a championship fight, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Excuse me. That's kind of relates to how I felt, because I was thinking about how a lot of these younger fighters haven't been truly tested to their limits just yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I can really see what is brought out of them in the tough situations, then I can really judge them based off of their ability. You know what I mean?
Right.
That makes sense. Like Tank versus Barrios. After that, I'm like, whoa, okay. Well, he was down, but he ended up getting the knockout anyways. So he showed that he can really persevere through that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I gave I was one of those people who questioned and I have no shame in admitting this. I'm one of those people that questioned Tank's decision to move up to 140 in a scorching hot 135 division.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I like I said, I have to give credit to both guys, and Tank showed that he can bring his power up to 140, and Mario Barrios showed that he has a heart of a lion.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of moving up to 140, did you see after the Loma fight last night, Teofimo Sr. said that they would do a rematch with Lomachenko's, and we'll get into the Loma fight in a little bit here, but he said that he would do the Loma fight has to be right after Cambosos, because right after that Lopez wants to move up to 140.
Right.
So it just seems like everyone's moving up to 140 now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. Do you think the other contenders at lightweight are gonna follow suit, or?
I think what I hope is that they stay at 135 a little longer, but I have a feeling that it's gonna have a domino effect from Tank if he's successful, which he already is now against Barrios. I feel like it's gonna have a domino effect, and they're gonna want to chase Tank.
Right, because Tank's where all the money is. I mean, I feel like he's kind of the guy everyone wants to fight.
Yeah.
Like his name is always in the picture. I mean, it used to be Lomachenko.
Yeah.
And now I feel like it's Tank. So.
It could be Loma again if he beats Teo in a rematch.
I mean, if he looks like anything like he did against Nakatani, I think he has a solid chance.
Yeah, aggressive Lomachenko is really scary.
Right. Because keep in mind, Nakatani was probably, besides Lomachenko, the toughest fight of Teofimo's career. He gave him a real fight. So the fact that Loma just dismantled him.
I was so shocked with what I saw out of Lomachenko. Not because I didn't believe in him or anything like that. It's just I thought he was gonna be a lot more calculated, but he really went out there and he's like, I'm gonna show them, really without beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I'm the best. So.
Like he one thing that I've noticed that was different from this fight and the Tio fight is he got off a lot faster. Like he didn't wait. Like he's not like he did kind of have that. The commentators saying vintage Loma, right? Yeah. That was true. He still had all that fancy footwork and stuff, but he was just like pumping on the gas a little bit earlier,
right?
And Nakatani, it was a crazy fight because Nakatani didn't find an answer for anything Loma was throwing, and he couldn't land anything. Loma looked like it was a walk in the park for him.
He looked like he really wanted to prove himself. Like he really looked like he was going out there and he wasn't gonna go home without anything other than a knockout. And I think a knockout, especially at round, they only made it to round 6 or 7. I think punching him out like that is really a statement, and I think it's definitely.
He kept finding that right hand. I'm sorry, left hand. Like he kept finding a home for that left hand, and
Nakatani was running into it too.
Right, and I think Nakatani was trying to, he's got that Japanese warrior mentality, where he was, he didn't want to quit, but. If I was in a situation, you've lost every round at that point. I didn't give him a single round in that
fight. 2 broken orbital bones.
Yeah, 2 broken orbital bones. Like I would just, I would thrown in the towel in my opinion. Right. I don't typically say that, but when permanent blindness.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah. I mean the 2 broken orbital bones happened before, but it's still linger in your mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean it was a 9th round knockout and. That was.
It was 9th round.
Yeah, it was a 9th round knockout, and the fact that Nakatani stuck it out through all those 9 rounds, we saw a lot of heart from both him and Barrios last night. So it was a great night of boxing.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, it was.
We got to see some pretty good Lomachenko action, some good heart out of Nakatani, Barrios. Yeah,
and there was also that Canelo card. That was that was happening. How Canelo was trying to dip his feet into the promotional world, and kind of work with Eddie Hearn, and they're starting they're staging
Smart.
4 cards in Mexico.
Oh, really?
And last night was the first one with Julio Cesar Martinez, and he fought Joel Cordova, and I think like I said, that too was a great fight. It was a lot of action. It was fast paced, and it was kind of interesting to see because apparently those two were sparring buddies.
Yeah.
Back in the day, so
that's always nice.
Yeah, so
fight somebody.
It was a little more competitive. I mean, up until the knockout.
Yeah, I wonder what that's like when you spar somebody like that, and then you have to actually intend to harm them instead of just sparring where it's just training.
Right. Well, I mean, that's not always true. Some guys in sparring want to take your head off.
True. I guess how sparring supposed to be.
I can speak from experience when I say that. Some guys when they're sparring just they try and make everything a fight. But I mean, it was a great card. I think it's really good for Mexico. Really good for Julio Cesar Martinez. I'll be honest with you. I really I'd heard of him. I'd never seen him fight.
Mm-hmm.
But that card, I didn't get to watch it live. I saw the highlights on YouTube, but that was a really well put together show by Matchroom and Canelo Alvarez. So kudos to them.
Yeah, I find that interesting that he's dipping into the promoter realm, which is smart because after you retire,
right? Well, he's a free agent now himself. So I mean, I think that okay, so if you're starting out and you don't really have a fan base, you don't have that, what's the word for it? You don't have that
security.
Well, not security. I don't. It's not even security. It's that leverage. You don't have any base. You don't have any backing. It's very hard to make it as a free agent in the boxing world. So I think what he did was very smart. He came up with Golden Boy and now that he's a free agent, he can really go wherever he wants and fight whoever he wants. He's the boss. He calls all the shots.
Right.
You know, and like he's the moneymaker. He's like the face of boxing.
That's similar to it's kind of like going down the whole
Floyd Mayweather route.
Floyd Mayweather route, which is pretty good because, like you said, they can pretty much do whatever. And for the fans, is really good because the fights that we want to see generally have a better chance of happening because of, I'm pretty sure it's less bureaucracy.
What do you want to see out of Canelo? I mean, like, he's gonna fight Caleb Plant next, I'm assuming.
I want to see him fight Caleb Plant, but I want to see him fight David Benavidez really bad. Yeah. But I don't think he's gonna lose to David Benavidez right now. But I think if he fights him in 5 years, he will.
David Benavidez? Why? Why is it? Well, I mean, Canelo would be out of prime.
Yeah.
In 5 years, but
yeah.
Like, why specifically David Benavidez and not one of the Charlo brothers or? You know?
I actually didn't even think about them, but
I think if anyone were to give Canelo a real test, it would be one of the Charlo brothers. Jamal Charlo, not one of the Charlo brothers, but you know.
Benavidez,
Benavidez got that size.
It's kind of I kind of have a generic. I'm a sucker for, bigger fighters versus like noticeable difference. Like I love
like the Canelo Smith fight.
Yeah, I also loved Kovalev versus Canelo.
That was a boring fight.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I mean it was boring,
it
but
was
like
so boring.
I liked how Canelo just decided to go up to
light
heavyweight.
Yeah. I mean Canelo, and like I'm a big Canelo fan, so I'm a little biased when I say this here, but I really don't think anyone beats him from middleweight up to light heavyweight. I think he's except for maybe Arthur Beterbiev.
Better beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't see that fight happening. There's no commercial appeal to it.
Yeah.
And like it's at light heavyweight, and I don't think Canelo intends on going back up. I think he's just gonna stick at super middleweight right now. Yeah, because
Benavidez is super middleweight.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have to go up that much.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for Canelo Alvarez. It's definitely interesting, but definitely see the future in boxing. Like the stars, like Canelo Alvarez is the president of the future. I definitely see in the lightweight division. So I kind of saw this article the other day talking about how you have a new Four Kings era emerging. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how I know it's a little premature to say that, but when you look back at the Four Kings era, Hagler, Duran, Leonard, Hearns, it's kind of happening again with the lightweights. Ryan Garcia, he's kind of like the Sugar Ray Leonard of the group.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Boy.
Yeah, he's like the pretty boy. You've got Devin Haney, which I would kind of liken to the Thomas Hearns of the group.
Thomas Hearns.
Yeah, I would say Tank Davis is kind of like the Hagler of the group, and I would say like Teofimo Lopez is kind of like the Roberto Duran of the group.
Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know what the jury's still out on like how. I mean that we know they're good, but like you know what I mean. Like they haven't.
Right. But like here's what's great about it, right? They're all pretty competitive fights, and I think I don't even think it's the fact that they're good or they're the best. I just think that the appeal is there to see them fight each other.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh yeah,
and it was the same way with the Four Kings. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean. Kind of like that would be big headlines.
Right. It's kind of like think about this, Gotti Ward, right?
Yeah.
We both knew those guys weren't the best fighters in the world,
right?
But they were so good for each other that's why people watched it.
Right. I guess the only way to really find out, is just to see them fight each other.
Yeah.
I guess that's the only way,
And I think they need to put politics aside and start making those fights happen.
Right.
I mean, I think Ryan has definitely proved a lot, and I think I would like to see him fight, you know, Devin Haney next. I think that'd be a good
Haney
fight.
versus Garcia.
Haney versus Garcia, especially since they fought in the amateurs a couple times, and I think they both have one apiece or something, so it'd be kind of to settle the score.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. I actually don't know what the. I know they fought a couple times, and both of them have wins on each other. But I think that would be a really good fight. I gained a lot of respect for Ryan when he beat Luke Campbell, because that was not an easy fight for him, you know. So, no, I think, and like Devin Haney looked phenomenal against Linares. I don't care what people say about the last round. No one's stuck it to Linares like that.
I think Linares just had a second wind, or like a third or fourth wind.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that would be a very, very sensible fight for next fight for both Devin Haney and for Ryan Garcia.
Do you have a do you think you know who would win that fight?
I can confidently say I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like their styles are so interesting. You know, it's funny because when I look at them, I kind of think of Oscar and Floyd.
Oscar and Floyd.
That's
pretty funny.
Because Devin's kind of like a little he's kind of like a discount Floyd.
Discount Floyd.
And Ryan's kind of like a discount Oscar. You got to think about it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, look at them. They kind of like paralleling career. I mean, Devin Haney's kind of like he fights like Pretty Boy Floyd.
Right.
But he kind of acts like Money Mayweather. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
You know.
I can see. You know what is one thing that I do like about them? Their personalities and how they clash like that. Like you just mentioned. Like I do enjoy how present they are in the media, and I actually like how well represented they are, because that kind of does turn them into the Four Kings kind of, because it's like because they're everywhere. They're on fucking TV, TikTok. But they're all Instagram, TikTok. They're like the popular kids of boxing. Like they sit at the lunch table, and we're not invited. Because they're the cool kids,
right?
But like that's what makes them so interesting. You know, they're kind of all connected, in a way.
Yeah, they are, and it's gonna be an interesting era, and I don't know how it's gonna how things are gonna change and how the dynamics are gonna change, but that's I think out of like every division in boxing. Besides, the heavyweight fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, I think my eyes are most glued to this lightweight division. And all the prospects that come with it.
I think there's even more interest now that Loma just beat Nakatani.
Yeah, I think I think Loma can beat Teofimo in the second fight.
You think so? How do you think?
Well, because here's the thing. I think that Teofimo beat Loma the first time, but I think yes, I think he won, but I think he won just barely.
You think so?
Yeah.
Teofimo.
I think Teofimo won just barely, because Lomachenko, as soon as he started throwing, I thought he won every round except for the 12th where Teofimo threw something crazy something like 100 punches, or was it more or something?
He kind of. I feel like he saved his energy.
Yeah.
He kind of did what he did
pull the Loma.
Yeah, him and Loma did the same things but opposite. So he kind of preserved his energy, and I think he fought that really smart, which is kind of what you have to do against Lomachenko. You have to be smart.
Well, he used his size, and kudos to him,
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah. I mean, that man is definitely not lightweight. Have you seen him?
Yeah, He's big.
He's big, yeah.
I was so pissed off when he apparently got COVID and we couldn't watch the fight.
Yeah.
I hope he's all right, but I was like, man, come on.
Yeah, I think the Kambosos fight's gonna be a lot closer than people expect. I'm a big fan of Kambosos.
Yeah, I like him a lot too.
I really want to see him win, if I'm being honest.
I like his motivational speeches.
Yeah.
That's he only talks.
He's Australian too, but he's also Greek, so he's got I am Spartan, that kind of
I'm gonna knock him out.
Yeah, that Greek mentality, and I don't know, I like the guy. He just seems like he's hungry, and determined.
He's
bigger than Teofimo too.
Yeah, he's big, and he's had some pretty good sparring sessions with the old Pacquiao apparently.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That always helps. I'm sure.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Maybe not in the moment, but eventually.
I know. I wonder if Pacquiao gave him the work.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Yeah. I mean,
maybe there's Pacquiao versus Kambosos in the future.
No, Pacquiao's too big for him. Oh, I mean, he's not too big, but he's
too big figuratively, like.
Well, I mean, yes, commercially, and also
commercially.
like I don't think. I think after the Errol Spence fight, I don't think Pacquiao's gonna fight again. Personally,
Do you think it's gonna be the end of him?
I think it's gonna be the end of Pacquiao, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way. I just think that Errol Spence is gonna beat Manny Pacquiao, and I just, he's like so busy with his life as a senator, and I just feel like this is kind of the tail end. Think about it. Where else can Manny Pacquiao really go with his career?
He's old.
Well, it's not even that. Like, he's achieved everything you can possibly achieve.
Yeah.
What else can you achieve?
Multiple weight titles.
Yeah. Like, I mean, and like, God bless him, man. Like, he's gonna be like, I think he said something about like wanting to run for president one day. That'd be sick.
Oh man.
President of the fucking country.
If he runs for president, he's definitely gonna have to retire. I feel like if he runs for president and he wins, he'll retire.
Like, it's kind of crazy how he's a senator and he's a fighter. Like, you're a senator. You know what I mean?
And a fighter.
Like, imagine Doug Ducey.
He's like a superhero.
Doug Ducey?
No.
Oh, Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao, not
okay,
Doug
but
Ducey.
Like, let's just like.
Doug Ducey's a villain.
Let's put this in like perspective. Okay, so the governor of Arizona, Doug Ducey. Imagine Doug Ducey, like, going out there and be like, hey, I got to fight with Terrence Crawford tomorrow. I got to train. You know what I mean? So
I can't imagine. And then I guess they could just fight every fight in our backyard in Phoenix.
Yeah, I'd pay money to watch Doug Ducey get beat up. Sorry, Dougie.
Celebrity Doug Ducey in a celebrity boxing match.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, lightweight division. There's a lot of interesting fights coming up in that division, and it's gonna be fun. Who do you think is gonna come out on top? Like who do you think is gonna emerge the most successful? Because like, there's always one that's like kind of achieves more in their career.
I think Tank honestly is gonna win more.
Yeah.
I think Garcia is gonna get more credit probably.
Yeah.
Than Tank. Which kind of sucks. I don't think that's either of their faults. I think that's just kind of how it goes. Just because he's more popular, Yeah. I don't know.
I wonder where Devin Haney's place is gonna be.
I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't really. I need to watch more of him because my opinion's not really that great.
It's just like I think he's trying too hard to be like Floyd. All these young fighters trying to be like Floyd.
Does it kind of seem like that?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Everyone wants to be like Floyd, and
yeah.
I definitely don't think it's gonna be an Adrian Broner type situation. If anyone is gonna end up like Adrian Broner, I feel like it might be Tank, just because of all the shit he gets into out of the ring. Yeah,
but Tank's. My prediction hinges on Tank not being a dumbass outside of the ring.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I mean, I don't blame him. I'm sure that's a lot to deal with, fame and stuff, but still, I love watching him fight, so that's why it gets frustrating.
He's definitely my favorite fighter to watch.
I just love his explosiveness.
Yeah, he's fun.
He just knocks people the hell out.
And like he takes it too. He's got a good chin. Like you'll see him stand up there with a high guard and bam, he'll slip through the guard.
Yeah,
and he'll just press forward. That shit's badass.
He often does not block the jab.
Yeah,
at all.
I've seen fights. Like, even with the Santa Cruz fight, right before he knocked out Santa Cruz uppercut, like, he was going, I guess people at home can't see this, but, he had his, his
head is snapping back.
His head was snapping back with that jab, and then all of a sudden slip, and that uppercut.
It's like his feet are moving forward, but his head is moving backwards. But he's taking it. I mean, he just takes it, and I'm sure that won't last forever. I mean, you don't want to build a career like that, I guess, of taking punishment, but it's not too bad.
You don't want to end up like Arturo Gatti.
Yeah, you don't want your brain to be mush, but I mean, Tank can handle a lot. He's a tank. He could beat anybody.
Very clever, Michael.
Yeah, he's a tank.
But anyway, I think we're gonna cut the show right there. But thank you guys for tuning in. It was a really fun episode. It was a great week of boxing.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
Yeah, we just started this podcast, and we're just two guys that really love boxing. So if you guys have any suggestions or feedback, feel free to leave it in the comments. Like we're really having fun with this. And,
any criticisms too.
Yeah, any criticisms too. We're just trying to have a good time with it.
Yeah.
And hopefully you guys like listening to our dumbasses talk.
Sharing the love of boxing and just
pugilism.
how much pugilism, how much we know or don't know.
Way to say boxing.
Yeah, and it'll either reveal how much we do know about it or don't know. Hopefully you do know, but
we have some pretty exciting plans coming up for the future, including some guests maybe coming on.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'm talking right now to a former world champion who I know, and maybe somewhere down the line he'll end up on the podcast. I won't say any names, but it'll definitely be an interesting run.
Hell yeah.
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.